43rd. You have the floor.
You sound disappointed the way he said that.
Not at all, sir. My apologies.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have no questions for the chair. A, I sit on the committee, and B, she's answered several questions here tonight, so I don't have any questions. I do feel compelled to say a few things. First of all, some questions were asked and not answered or whatever about intent of the legislation. So I would just like to say this, for anybody watching or anybody who's listening, that if the question before the chamber was, do you hate homeschoolers? I assure you the board would be completely red. I don't think there's anybody in this room that hates homeschoolers. If the question was, do you want to keep kids in Connecticut safe? The board would be completely green. I don't think there's a person in this room that doesn't want to keep the kids of Connecticut safe. The things that divide us along party lines really isn't guns, it's not homeschooling, and it's not vaccines. It's a difference of opinion on whether or not government and government planning can address all the issues of human misery. That's really what divides us. So I was here 5 years ago, and 5 years ago, we passed the first vaccine bill to remove the religious exemption. And at that time, there was 8,000, I think, something, it's been 5 years, but 8,000 kids in Connecticut that had submitted a religious exemption, and 22,000 that they called out of compliance at that time. That were people who had not submitted a religious exemption nor submitted proof of vaccine. We ignored the 22,000 and we focused on the 8,000, so I understand why folks in the religious community felt like they were targeted. And then we have incidents and we pass gun legislation. We tell law-abiding gun owners that they can't have this or they can't have that or they can't buy this or they can only buy so many in a month, but yet the prosecution of our gun crimes is abysmal. The penalties are low. Our serious firearm offender law takes 3 convictions now before anything really happens. So I understand why gun owners feel targeted. And now we have this. And we're saying because of some things that happened that were terrible, kids need to have some eyes on them. They need to have an opportunity to be in front of mandated reporters and other responsible adults. But yet we've heard already 70-some thousand kids are habitually truant, and we're not really doing anything about it. So again, I understand why the homeschoolers feel targeted. I think what this boils down to, Mr. Speaker, is this. Again, nobody in this building hates gun owners. Nobody in this building wants to see anybody die of gun violence. Nobody hates religion. Nobody wants to see an outbreak of measles or anything else. The real question that divides us is whether or not telling people who don't commit these offenses, who don't cause these problems, that regulating them is going to fix the people who do wrong. I can't imagine somebody saying, you know, I'm going to go rob a liquor store, but I'm only going to put 10 rounds in the magazine because that's what the law says. I can't have more than 10. So I'm only going to put 10. I'm going to head out there. That's ridiculous. It's absurd, right? But that's what really separates us. So this is an emotional debate. It's been going on for a long time, since the beginning of the session. It's been going back and forth. There's been several iterations of the legislation. And I just thought it was necessary to just kind of bring it back. In the world that we live in today, the hyperpartisanship, to say, however the board lights up, understand the issue at its core. And the issue at its core, to me, is not whether somebody loves homeschoolers or hates homeschoolers or somebody cares about the safety of kids or doesn't. We've cleared up. I think everybody has the best of intent. The question is whether or not doing things like this actually addresses that issue. And to me, Mr. Speaker, like I said about vaccines then and now, like I say about gun legislation then and now, I say the same thing here. Regulating a community who has done nothing wrong with the idea that that will somehow stop the people who do it wrong just doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense in the past, doesn't make any sense today, and it's not going to make any sense tomorrow. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, I will be opposing this bill and urge my colleagues to oppose it as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Weir.